everyone. So we meet again, and today we meet on a day of 12th of Jan, which is a very important day because this is the Youth Day, right? So, well, today I'm here with a very general information regarding the youth of the world with a special focus on our country, India. So this is basically a session to understand the economic scenario for the youth. And when we say youth, it basically covers the age group of 15 to 24 years. Well, this is the economic, or there is a very, the range is in books, in policies, etc. And when we talk about India's demography, we mainly focus on the policies, also the national, international conferences. Now, whenever we are talking about this demography, one thing that comes into our mind, and that is the increasing population of India. Right? We all know that it is the second highest population, and very soon it will be the first. So ever increasing population is one of the concerns, and nowadays the policies are not related with the population, rather it focuses on how to utilize the youth to their optimum level so that the growth of the economy can be set in. That's the major challenge, and that is why today's a very short session is mainly to focus nothing else rather than demographic dividend. This demographic dividend, it is a very particular situation when majority of the population of any country is youth. That means youths are the one who has the highest potential with the highest productivity. It is expected, right? But it needs to be channelized in a perfect way so that the economic growth can set in. And literatures have already initiated and focused that if the demographic dividend is occurring, it will, if all the resources are focused and channelized in a perfect way, it demographic dividend results in immense growth, immense prosperity of any country. And we have seen in many of the countries, for example South Korea, for example many countries like Thailand, Singapore, etc. And these are, by the way, South Asian countries, right? So India is no different than those countries. The only difference that lies is how we are utilizing the resources that is available here. And by we, I mean the government, the public figure, because government is here to take an action regarding the policy formation that will further set in the utilization of the youths into the job market. Now, talking about that, United Nations of Population Funds, they have already said that in India, the demographic dividends, the opportunity of this demographic dividend will be seen for a longer period, and this longer period ends approximately till 2055 to 56. So this is a long range of period. However, there is a challenge because it is, however, restricted to some of the states. For example, the South Indian countries, they have already experienced this demographic dividend, the growth, prosperity, etc. Now, the place where this is left to be seen, the benefits of this dividend, the opportunities of this dividend, this need to be realized for the underdeveloped states. And by these underdeveloped states, I mean there are few to name about the Uttar Pradesh, the Bihar, Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh, and etc. So in these states, the resources need to be formalized, and that resources will be directed if the policy formation is the correct one. And by the way, let me tell you that India is right now is the most youngest countries, and the average age of India today is 29 years. So this is a very high opportunity, the biggest opportunity that India can ever see. And since the opportunity of demographic dividend has ceased in some of the states, but there are few in which it can be set in, the opportunities can be set in, the growth can be set in. That just requires the correct direction of the policies. Now, population is increasing, right? So if I talk about 2011-12, the total working population was something around 64%. And in the next upcoming 2 decades, it is expected to increase to 66%. So that implies what? Job creation is important. Job creation is required more than ever. Now, I'm not saying that job creation has not been done. Definitely it has been created. Few lakhs, thousands of jobs have been created. And many have got the opportunity to get into the labor market. But we are talking about a country which is the second highest populated country in the world. That means the job creation is far, far behind than what is required. So here I want to focus on a two-way problem that India is going to face. Number one is the high unemployment. This is very, very high. The high unemployment. Many youths, since they are not getting the appropriate desired job, they are being forced to get employed in a minimal job with no job security. This is my number one problem that I want to highlight, and this is not something that is new, right? We all know. Number two is the joblessness growth of the economy, where we are seeing, of course, there is no employment, but this joblessness is being seen among the high graduated students, also among the postgraduate students. This is not something we deserve. This is not something the country India deserves. So this two-way problem needs to be addressed by forming the perfect, more better policies. Now there are policies that government has taken up, as I mentioned in my previous talk and in this talk as well. For example, Manrega. For example, there has been village level entrepreneurship. So these initiatives are being taken up by the government, but this needs to be increased. So these two problems can be counterpart by forming the skill of the individual. Now, when we talk about skill training, this is another challenge that India is facing, that the whole India is facing, especially the underdeveloped states that I just mentioned. So this skill training requires involvement of the government in a more better way. Therefore, all I want to say is that this demographic dividend that we took up the topic is a very limited time opportunity. Although it says that yes, the span of time to get hold of all the opportunities is long for India, but since it has ceased in some of these states, therefore I want to put it like the benefits, the opportunities of demographic dividend is time limited. Therefore, it requires a quick action. Therefore, it requires a massive action, massive policy formation and taking it into action with the support of the public, of all the citizens. Now, especially after the lockdown, coronavirus lockdown, we all have seen what India can go through if the policies were not focused in a correct way. During the lockdown period, we have seen several youth who were returning to their native places. And when I say native places, I mean Bihar, Jharkhand, Uttar Pradesh, these states, underdeveloped states. They returned to these states. And ultimately, we have seen a glimpse of what would be the situation of India if the government does not stand upfront with a better, strong, and massive policies informing the future of the youths. And my final statements, I want to conclude with the statement by a developmental economist, Thomas Malthus. He has said that if the resources, the supply of the resources has not been put in a proper manner, especially in a growing population, in a growing country, then the gap between the resources and the population that increases. And this is known as Malthusian catastrophe. So all I want to say on this Youth Day of 2023, that we all should work towards a better future, better growth of the economy, and that is not just engraved with getting a job. That is why in the recent data we can find that many has shifted to self-employed, which includes the entrepreneurship of different kinds. Definitely, maybe in the upcoming session I'll be talking about the type of employment, the scenario of the employment that has changed for our country, especially in the past 2 decades. So stay tuned and have a great day. I hope this session was very, very helpful to you. And if it is, you know what to do. Hit the like button. And if you're new to our channel, do subscribe and also press the bell icon, because you can go through the sessions that we take, and these are just with the intention to reach out to 1 lakh student all across the globe. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you so much for being with us all along. Thank you.